Hey, it's your old pal Lucid Stu again, and we are back to freeway capping and or removal, working our way down the US Metro's list. Phoenix was next, but I didn't find a good freeway for this purpose. If you're from Phoenix and disagree, let me know in the comments. In the meantime, we'll head to Boston, Massachusetts, since it's next on the list. Boston has experience in this subject. An aspect of the Big Dig project converted Interstate 93 through downtown Boston from viaduct to tunnel. It is an infamous American example of an over-budget engineering project. The entire endeavor, of which Interstate 93 was only a part, took 15 years and cost $22 billion despite an initial cost estimate of $6 billion. However, Boston's experience with capping freeways goes back even further. A portion of Interstate 90 through Boston was built in a tunnel with the expressed purpose of developing the area on top in the 1960s. This is the Prudential Tunnel under Prudential Center. This is the Back Bay area, which serves as a far eastern extension of downtown Boston. An additional complex in this area serves as an example of building over a freeway. This is Lyric Back Bay, which includes a 20-story office tower completed in 2024. How that was engineered is outlined in this article, link in the description. It shows that this practice is practical and gives a good idea of how the ideas might be applied to the areas in question for this video. Also of note, much of the land for both the freeway and the Prudential Center was once utilized by rail. The Massachusetts Bay Transportation Authority presently has tracks for various lines running along and under the freeway. Our target here is also Interstate 90, extending the current cap. As always with these videos, I will give you 3 views of a potential conversion. Parkland, a version that attempts to blend in with existing development, and then full-on build them as high as you can skyscrapers. Emerging from the core of downtown Boston over Interstate 93 heading south, will hang a right at Interstate 90 to begin. To keep things simple, we will start our cap at Harrison Avenue. We will cap about 8 blocks worth of space over both the freeway and rail lines connecting to Boston South train station. Here, our parkland offers a nice break from all the development. However, I've seen criticism of the Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy Greenway, which sits atop Interstate 93, portraying it as something of a dead space that isn't used much. So perhaps 2 of these spaces is too much for one city to absorb. Such a park here would mostly run through residential areas and total about 12 acres, so perhaps it would be of more utility. You decide in the comments. For perspective, the nearby public garden is about twice as large. After flying over the portion of Interstate 90, which is currently in tunnel, there are 2 more small opportunities to unify the area at the intersection of Boylston and Massachusetts. Another nice break to current development and also residential adjacent. Now for our more blended view, replacing most of that parkland with development. The area on the far east end has developed a lot lately, mostly with 7 to 12 story residential and mixed use, so clearly the demand for this type of development is there. West of there, as the neighborhood transitions to 4 and 5 story row buildings, I'm sticking with the 5/1 form, but these could easily be replaced with row buildings at a similar density. The Frida Garcia Pocket Park on the west end would be retained and expanded to about an acre, which would be a nice way to serve all the new residents. I went with a new quarter-acre park at Arlington and Tremont for the same reason. On the far end of the tunnel, I've replaced the parks with small residential towers totaling 70 or 80 units. And finally, we have the full-on no apologies version, chock full of 50-story skyscrapers. We'll blend in from a little further out on this one so you can appreciate the new skyline. All of these areas are served by rail, so the potential for high density is real, although it would obviously alter the character of the existing neighborhoods quite a bit in spots. The potential here is for 6 million square feet of office space, which equates to roughly 4,000 to 6,000 living units, and a potential population gain of 10,000 to 15,000 for the area. In contrast, the lower density option here would offer about 1,200 units and a population increase of 2,500, along with commercial space of around 400,000 square feet, typically employing 1,200 or so, which seems like a good overall mix. Boston's commercial high-rise vacancy rate is on the high side at 18.7%, but the Back Bay area is in higher demand and so are newer buildings, so could the current expansion over I-90 in the area continue in this way? And then on the far end, I have some more residential towers that I had to keep low enough to get the Unreal Engine camera over. You're looking at a couple hundred units there. Beyond that is Fenway Park, and next to that is Fenway Center, and that is yet another project currently being built over Interstate 90. This is a very real possibility and also an example for other cities considering similar ideas. Which version do you think is the best? Parkland, high density high rises, a blended approach, or some combination of the three? Let me know in the comments. Plenty more videos to come. Up next is my stomping grounds, the Riverside San Bernardino Metro in Southern California, also known as the Inland Empire. That is, unless someone in the Phoenix area can come up with a good idea first. But that's all for now. Until next time, I'll see you on that big, beautiful freeway.